Good morning, my dear students. Let us discuss about class 4. Today's concept is quasi-contract. Coming to the quasi-contract, when we talk about a valid contract, we expect it to have a certain elements like offer, acceptance, consideration, and capacity to the contract and consent free consent. Then only that contract is called as a valid contract. Here, a normal contract should contain some elements like offer, acceptance, consideration, capacity to contract, free consent. Then it is called a valid contract. But there are other types of contracts as well. As here in the type of quasi contract is one of the important. There are cases where the law impiles a promise and imposes obligations on one party while conferring rights to other, even when basic elements of a contract are not present. In some special cases like quasi contract, there are some cases are there where the law impiles a promise and imposes some obligations on one party while confirming the rights to other, even when the basic elements of contracts are not at present. The promises or relations are quasi-contracts. These obligations can also arise due to different social relationships, which we look at in the article. Here, some promises and some relations are called quasi-contracts. These are not a direct promises or not direct relations. These obligations can also arise due to different social relationships, which we will look at in this article. And the core principles behind a quasi contract are justice, equity, and good conscience. And it is based on maxim no man must grow rich out of any other person loss. Here basic is a maximum. No man must grow rich out of another person's loss. Let's look at an example of quasi-contract. Here, Peter and Oliver are entered into a contract. Here there is a contract. In that contract, two parties are there, party A and party B. What is we call as a party A as a Peter and party B as a Oliver. Here Peter and Oliver are entered into a contract, which Peter agrees to deliver a basket of fruits at Oliver residency. Here Peter and Oliver entered into a contract. Peter agrees to deliver a basket of fruits at Oliver's another party residence, means house, and Oliver promised to pay rupees 1500 after consuming all fruits from Peter delivery. Here Peter is delivering some fruits towards to Oliver house, and Oliver promised that after receiving the fruits, after consuming it, I will refund 1500 rupees. I will give 1500 rupees towards you for fruits. That is the here case. However, Peter enormously delivers a basket of fruits at John's house. Here Peter enormously delivers a basket of fruits at John's residency instead of Oliver house. Here in that contract we are mainly having two parties, Peter and Oliver. Peter want to deliver goods at Oliver house, but unfortunately due to small mistake Peter delivers fruits at John's residency, and when John gets home, he assumes that the fruit basket is a birthday gift and consumes them. He thinks some of his friends or relatives have given that fruit basket as a birthday gift, and although there is no contract between Peter and John, here there is no legal contract between or direct relationship between Peter and John, the court treats this is a quasi contract and order John to either return the basket of fruits or pay Peter. Here court is giving judgment John to either return the basket of fruits or pay Peter. Here, what is the example is saying? Peter and Oliver are two parties of a contract. Peter promised that he will deliver a basket of fruits at Oliver's house. Oliver promised that after receiving the goods and consuming the fruits, I will pay 1500 rupees to you. But Peter unfortunately delivers the goods at John's house. John misunderstands it as somebody his friends or relatives has presented as a birthday gift and he consumes it. But there is no proper relationship. There is no direct contract between Peter and John, but court is saying that this contract is a quasi contract. Court is giving the judgment that John want to return basket of fruits to Peter, or you want to pay money for the fruits to Peter. This is the judgment given by the court. Features of quasi-contract. Features of quasi-contract. It is usually a right to money and is generally not to a liquidate sum of money. It is usually right to money and is generally to a liquidate sum of money. The right is not an outcome of an agreement, but it is imposed by law. Here there is no direct right, but court is imposing some by law. Here right is not an outcome of the agreement, but it is imposed by the law because there is no direct relationship in the contract. In quasi-contract, the right is not available against everyone in world, but only against specific persons. The right is not available against everyone in the world, but only against a specific person. Hence, it resembles a contractual right. And coming to section 68 to 72 of the Indian Contract Act. Here section 68 to 72 of Indian Contract Act 1872 detail the 5 circumstances under which a quasi contract comes to exist. According to section 68 and 72, different conditions these sections are giving supported, thus these contracts are coming under quasi contracts. It was told by the Indian Contract Act 1872. Remember, there is no real contract between the parties and the law imposes the contractual liability due to peculiar circumstances. Section 68. According to section 68, necessaries supply to the person incapable of contracting. Here there is a small example that is for necessary supplies to persons incapable of contracting according to section 68. Imagine a person is incapable of entering into a contract like a lunatic or a minor. Here to enter into a contract, minor and lunatic not having rights. Minor means the person who is having less than 18 years. And what is the lunatic means? Lunatic is mean the person who is not having a proper mental condition. He is called as a lunatic. And if a person supplies necessary suited to the condition in life of such a person, then he can get reimbursement from the property of incapable of person. Here, if a person supplies necessaries suited to the condition in life of such a person, then he can get reimbursement from the proper of the incapable person. Here there is a example. John is a lunatic, means John is a not having proper mental condition, and Peter supplies John with a certain necessities suited to his condition in the life. Here John is a lunatic person, he is not having proper mental condition, and Peter supplies unknowingly with a certain necessities suited to his condition in life. Here, however, John does not have the money or proper mental condition. He fails to pay money to Peter. Here, John is not having the money, enough money to pay to shopkeeper or he is not having proper mental condition and he fails to pay the Peter. This termed as a quasi contract. This contract is called as a quasi contract, and Peter is entitled to reimbursement from John's property. Here Peter filed a case on John's and he is explaining the situation what happened to the court, and he is asking some reimbursement money from John's property. However, to establish his claim, Peter needs to prove two things. Here, Peter want to prove two things in the court. That is, John is a lunatic. Peter want to prove that John is a lunatic, means he is not having proper mental condition, and the goods supplied were necessary for John at the time when they were sold or delivered to him. Here Peter want to prove these two things in the court in front of judge. Then only he will get justice in this case. This is the about section 68 in Indian Contract Act 1872. Under section necessities supply to persons incapable of contracting. Now, according to section 69, payment by an interest. Here, according to section 69, payment by an interest person. If a person pays the money on someone else's behalf of which other person is bound by the law to pay, then he is entitled to reimburse by the other person. If a person pays the money on someone else's behalf of. Here section 69 says about payment by an interested person. If a person pays the money on someone else's behalf of which the other person is bound by law to pay, then he is entitled to reimbursement by the other person. Here Peter is a jamindar. In this case Peter is a jamindar. He has leased his land to John, and John is a farmer. However, Peter fails to pay revenue due to government after sending the notices and not receiving the payment from the Peter. Here there is a small case, for example, of payment by an interested person. Here Peter is a jamindar. He has leased his land to John and a farmer. John is a farmer. However, Peter fails to pay the revenue due to government. After sending the notices and not receiving the payment, the government leases an advertisement for sale of that land which is leased to John. And according to revenue law, once land is sold, John lease agreement is annulled, means cancelled. According to revenue law, once the land is sold, John's lease agreement is cancelled, that is annulled, is not valid. And John does not want to let go of the land. Here John does not want to let go of the land since he was worked hard on the land. And it has started yielding good produce. In order to prevent the sale, John pays the government amount due from the Peter. In this scenario, Peter is obligated to repay the said amount to John. This is the judgment of court. Here there is a case, Peter want to pay some money towards the court, but he is unable to pay that revenue to the government were a case towards a Peter. Now John is a leasing person. John paid instead of Peter. Now that problem is solved. Now Peter want to pay to John, which was he already paid to the court. That is about section 69, payment by an interested person, Quasi Contract Act. Section 70, obligation of a person enjoying the benefits of a non-gratuitous Act. Here, Section 70, obligations of a person enjoying the benefits of a non-gratuitous act. Imagine a person lawfully doing something or delivering something to someone without the intention of doing so gratuitously, and the other person enjoying the benefits of act done or goods delivered. Here one person is there, that person is something delivering something to someone without any intention of doing so gratuitously means done without any good reason, and other person enjoying the benefits act done or goods delivered. In such a case, the other person is liable to pay compensation to the farmer for the act or goods received, and this compensation can be in money, or other persons can, if possible, restore the things done or delivered. Here this compensation can be in money only, or other person can, if possible, restore the things done or delivery. He want to pay money and he want to give the restore things which are delivered to. However, the plaintiff must want to prove that, here one of the party must want to prove that the person who filed a case, he is called as a plaintiff. In this case, he want to prove that the act that is done or the thing delivered was lawful. He want to prove that thing which was delivered was a lawful activity. He did not do so gratuitously, means he did not do without any good reason, and the other person enjoys the benefit. This is one type of quasi contract according to section 70, obligation of a person enjoying the benefits of a non-gratuitous act. Now another quasi-contract example, section 71, responsibility of a finder of a goods. Here there is a small case. If a person finds goods that belongs to someone else, takes them into his custody. Here if a person finds goods that belongs to someone else and takes them into his custody, then he has to adhere to the following responsibilities. He want to follow some following responsibilities. Take care of that goods as a person of a regular prudence, consciousness. No right to appropriate the goods. He is not having any right to use that goods. Restore the goods to the owner. He want to restore the goods towards the owner if he found. And here Peter owns a flower shop, and Oliva visits him to buy a bouquet, but forgets her purse in the shop. Here Peter was a flower shop owner, and Oliva is one female. She is a female customer. She visits to buy a bouquet, by forgets her purse in the shop. She came to Peter's shop for purchasing bouquet, and unfortunately she forgetted her purse, and unfortunately there are no documents in that purse to help ascertain her identity. Here Peter opened that person, he sealed completely that purse, but unfortunately there is no documents in that purse to help ascertain her identity. Means he want to return to that woman, but there is no any proofs in that purse. Peter leaves that purse on checkout counter, assuming that she would return to take it. Peter leaves that purse on checkout counter, assuming that she would be returned to take it. She will come later, and he leaves that purse on the counter. And here John, having one of the assistant Peter's. Here John is one of the assistant of a Peter's shop. He finds the purse lying on the counter and puts it in a drawer without informing the Peter. Here John is one of the assistant of Peter's shop. He finds that purse lying on the counter and puts it in a drawer without informing to the Peter. This is the highlight point in this case. He finished his shift and goes home. When Oliva, female customer, returns looking to her purse, Peter can't find it. When she was returned to the shop, Peter was unable to find it. Now he is liable for the compensation, since he did not take care of purse, which any prudent manner would have done. He want to, when the Peter has identified the first step of that first, he want to make the protection. Here he fails to do protection of that good, that particular purse. Now he is a liable person in this case. That is according to section 71, responsibility of a finder of goods. And according to 72, money paid by mistake or under coercion. This is the last example of a quasi contract. Section 72, money paid by mistake or under coercion. If a person receives money or goods by mistake under coercion, means force. If a person receives a money or goods by mistake or under coercion, means force, then he is liable to repay or return it. Let us see an example. Peter misunderstands the terms of lease and pays municipal tax enormously. Here Peter misunderstands the term of lease and he pays the municipal tax enormously, and after he realizes his mistake, he approached the municipal authorities for reimbursement of his money. He entitled to be reimbursed since he had paid the money by mistake. Here he entitled to reimbursed since he had paid the money by mistake. Similarly, money paid by coercion. In the same manner, money is paid by force, by applying force. Coercion is called force, which includes oppression. Oppression is cruel activity, or extortion, forceful activity. If any cruel person, if any force activity is done on a particular person to pay money, in such cases or any such means is recoverable. In such cases, the money is receivable, recoverable. Similarly, money is paid by coercion in case of oppression, extortion, cruel behavior of opposite person, and extortion is applying force on that person to pay money. In such two cases, the money is recoverable to them. This is about the quasi-contract act according to Indian Contract Act 1872. Here there are 5 different sections in the quasi-contract act from 68, section 68 to 72. This is about the quasi-contract act. My dear students, thank you so much. Please subscribe my YouTube channel.